Hey yo, welcome to Mind Over Game, the podcast where we're gonna talk about sports psychology. I'm Stephanus Dani here, gonna be your guide and your host throughout the podcast. And for today, we're gonna having an American football player who's been playing for almost 5 years during his time in UK, and now he's playing flag football in his hometown, which is Indonesia. And we're gonna talk more about imagery. So enjoy.
Okay, welcome, Johannes.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to dive into this topic.
Okay, absolutely. Let's start with the basic. So we're gonna talk about imagery or mental rehearsal. It's a technique that allows athletes to practice their game without stepping onto the field. It's about creating a vivid mental experience, by engaging all the sense. Do you ever have used mental imagery before the game or key plays?
I think I do, yeah. Usually before the big game, I visualize myself executing any plays that might occur on the game itself. So whether it's a route or reading the offense, it just put me into the right mindset before the game.
Yeah, that's a great example. So studies shows that when you mentally rehearse the skill, your brain fires the same pathway as you were physically performing it. So it's almost like you getting an extra reps without physically fatigued, without physically tired.
Oh, that's interesting. So even though I'm not physically doing it, so it just my brain is still getting the work in, or what?
Exactly, and so you just doing it with your basically your brain without have to move it a lot of muscles in your body. So and the best part is it's help to sharpen your focus, kind of boost your confidence too, and even improve your muscle memories. Let's break it down into three components here. I have three components, which is the first one is perspective, and then there's sensory involvement, and the last one is emotion. So I'm gonna start with the first one, is the perspective key components. Perspective, athletes can use a first person imagery or first person point of view, seeing the game through their own eyes, or they can use the third person point of view, they're kind of watching themselves doing the reps and then doing a highlight reels through the videos. Do you ever do that, and then which one do you usually use?
Okay, so back in the days, my team used Huddle as a platform to do those kind of things, like doing film study and else. So I'm used to get the third person perspective, but I think for this case, it's definitely a first person perspective, because it feels me to lock in into the game, and it just keep me ready for the executing the plays.
All right, that makes sense. So yeah, that's the first point of view imagery. Usually is a great platform to be better on making the decision under pressure, while the third person point of view usually can help you revive the technique in the game. So the next component is sensory involvement. The more sense you engage, the more effectiveness in your imagery case. Instead of just picturing you breaking the tackle and then breaking the blocking from whole line and then reading the running back, where are they doing the running or passing game, make it as real as possible with the sensory involvement.
So yeah, for this case, for the sensor involvement, I mostly focus on the visuals because I have to read the offense first. So I have to like assume is it a run play or it's a pass play. So it depends on the formation from the offense itself. But since I'm playing the defensive line, so I'm responsible to holding the first line of defense of our team. So adding other senses like sounds because the quarterback have to do the cadence, right? So they have to like down, set, hut. So the split second reaction from that sound, it makes a lot of difference for myself to get into the quarterback quicker rather than like just seeing the ball being snapped by the center.
Okay, I see. Absolutely. So the goal is to make your imagery is more vivid that so that your brains like kind of believe that it's actually happened. That kind of brings us to the third component, which is emotion. So your brain doesn't like distinguish between a real and imagine experience when your emotion is kind of involved in it. If you can mentally pace yourself in a higher pressure moments, like you have to hear all the cadence and then reading the gameplay, which is it gonna be running or like passing or like you got a game winning sack and feels the adrenaline. It kind of help reduce the anxiety when you face it in the field.
So you saying that instead of feeling nervous or feeling overwhelmed, so I did feel more prepared and I'm into it because I've already been there in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about training your brain to respond to the best way possible. Like now, let's talk about how we can apply the imagery to our daily routine. Like research suggests that even 5 or 10 minutes for imagery a day can make a difference. Before a game, try to close your eyes, taking a deep breath, and you can run through your key plays in as much detail as possible as you can. Like doing all that, have you ever used imagery as the part of your pre-game ritual? Maybe.
Yeah, I do. So basically, I have a lot of like my in my pre-game ritual. There's a lot of activities that I do. So first of all, is I kind of like praying. So I usually kneel down on the our end zone just to pray before the game. So just hoping for the best. But while I'm closing my eyes, I also like imagining everything that would happen, everything that we as a team already prepared for the game, and for myself how I execute my role as a defensive role and as a captain. So that's the most important thing for me. So but I think just hearing about this from you, I think I could be more intentional about it. So rather than just like running through plays quickly in my head, I can just dedicate more time to you know uh, thinking about it and then trying to imagining those plays that real. Yeah, you can say that some situation is different from one to another, so in the crucial moment I will be more ready for it. So I think it's make a lot of sense.
Okay, that's a great start. One way to enhance it is by like preparing imagery and deep breathing, like taking it slow, control the breathing while visualizing success helps your mind and body like sync up and then keep you calm under pressure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oof. Yeah, I think I will start my season like in a month, so I think I will definitely start working on it in my pre-game routine.
Yeah, just make sure one thing that's the key is consistency. The more you practice imagery, the more natural it becomes, and then you don't forget it. And it's not just for a game day, I guess. I suppose like you can use it to rehearse different scenarios, whether it's responding to adversity, staying composed after a bad play, or preparing for big moments like in the finals, on the playoffs, or against big rivalry team.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I really like that idea. So, I think most of us, especially in Indonesia, we trying to focus on our body, but sometimes we forget to use our mind to influence our game. So, I think with this way, I think it's a good option to train my mind like I train my body.
Yeah, exactly. So before we wrap up here, since you've been playing a lot for a while, you know, this sport, American football, do you have any like advice for younger athletes looking up to the level of their mental game?
Yeah, so I think the mental side of playing football is just as important as the physical one. So we cannot, as I said earlier, we cannot forget that our mind also influence our body. So if we come prepared, I believe that we will play good. So if you can train your mind, I think you'll be ahead of the competition for sure.
Yeah, we'll say that's it for today. So thank you for your Johannes for coming to the past.
Thank you for having me, Danny.